Hi, my name's Ron Bishop from Timaru, New Zealand, and I'm a professional motivational coach. And I'm reading to you this morning from a manual of mine called Think Talk, How to Think Like a Winner. This is lesson number 8 of the Think Talk manual, and I've called this chapter The Importance of Daily Mental Exercises. And I'm reading you now from the manual. Daily exercises. Spend between 10 and 30 minutes every day doing both affirmation and visualization exercises. It is better to do 10 minutes every day than to do 70 minutes one day a week. It's not how long you do the exercises, but how often you do them that makes them work. Think of how advertising works. We all get sick of watching the same advertisement over and over again. But that is why they work, because our minds get saturated with the content of the advertisement. Without even realizing it, we find ourselves spending our money with the advertiser who programmed our minds by repeating the ads. Think of a famous national rugby team. Did you think of the All Blacks? If you did and you are a New Zealander, it's because the name All Blacks has been programmed into your mind ever since you were a child. Mental exercises. Did you know that the average person has about 60,000 thoughts a day and most of them are negative? What you have to do is examine your thoughts and ask yourself, are they negative or positive? If they are negative, then you have to change them to the opposite. The best way to do this is by repeating the positive thought as an affirmation. You can do affirmations anywhere, either out loud or silently to yourself. Negative thoughts are a habit, and so are positive thoughts. Once you start practicing them on a regular basis, a new positive thinking habit will be born. Visualization. You have no doubt seen someone being hypnotized. The hypnotist puts the conscious mind of the person to sleep and talks directly to their subconscious mind. The person then does exactly what they are told to do. With visualization, you put your own conscious mind to sleep, but you don't need to go into deep sleep. You only need to go into the first level of sleep. When you relax your body, it automatically goes into the first level of sleep, which is called alpha. Once you are in alpha, you then start imagining what it's like to achieve your goals. See yourself doing the things you want to do, being the person you want to be, and enjoying the things you want to have. Mirror technique. If you've ever been to a gymnasium or anywhere where people practice physical exercise, you'll see mirrors on the wall. This is because the reflection of yourself in a mirror seems to have a powerful effect on your performance. Actors and public speakers use mirrors to practice their performance. One of the most powerful techniques is to do your affirmations in front of a mirror. It's not being vain as long as you do it in private. One of the keys to success is to put feeling into your affirmations, and looking into a mirror will help you do that. Audio recordings. There are many audio recordings you can buy to help you with mental exercises. There are subliminal recordings where the affirmations are hidden beneath soft music and you cannot hear them consciously, but your subconscious mind can. Personally, I do not like subliminal recordings because you can never be sure what you're listening to. Other self-help recordings have someone speaking on the recording directly to your subconscious mind. Once again, I'm not in favour of them either because I like to program myself with my own goals, not with goals someone else thinks I want. If you want to speed up your progress using audio recordings, then here is what I suggest you do. Write out your goals into affirmation form and record them on your own CD or cassette tape. Buy yourself a pillow speaker. It's a small flat speaker that you can place under your pillow at night. Play the recording over and over just before you go to sleep and first thing when you wake up in the morning. You'll be amazed how this will change your thinking, and many ideas will come to you to help you achieve your goals. Prayer. Everyone prays even though they may not admit it. Praying is what humans are designed to do. It's our way of communicating with our Creator. The best way to pray for your goals is to give thanks for them before you receive them. It's good to give thanks for what you've already got, but we also should give thanks to the good things to come. I spoke to a woman the other day and she was going through a change in her career. I asked her what she was going to do. She said, "I don't know. I'm waiting for God to tell me." If we all sit around waiting for God to tell us what to do, we would never do anything. I'm sure God wants us to set our own goals, and once we do that, He will guide us down the right path in pursuit of those goals. Faith. Faith is believing in things unseen. If you've read all the 8 lessons in Think Talk, then congratulations, because you've just shown faith in believing that all things I've been telling you will work. We all know that all religions are based on faith, believing in the story and believing in the unknown. We can all travel down the highway at high speed facing the oncoming traffic only a short distance apart, and we all have faith that the other car will not hit us. Yet there are some people who will not walk under a ladder or put an umbrella up inside a house because they believe it's bad luck. There's no such thing as bad or good luck, only negative and positive thinking. Whatever you believe is what will happen. God has given you the gift of choice. That means you choose what to put faith in. You can choose what you put your faith in. First I stated doing daily affirmations, telling myself that I am the greatest. It felt really uncomfortable because it seemed that I was telling myself a lie. Then I realized that the only reason it was a lie was because I did not have the faith that I could ever be the greatest in my field of work. Maybe if I was to believe it, then it would become the truth. I had also been taught to be modest, and I soon realized that it was not my modesty that was in fact holding me back. Please understand that the things that I have been teaching you in Think Talk are not mine. Most of them have been around since the beginning of mankind. Bookshelves are full of books on everything I have been talking about. All I have done is package the information into 8 lessons and called it Think Talk in an effort to make it simple and understandable. Persistence. The only thing that will ever overcome resistance is persistence. I often get asked how long it takes before you start seeing results doing Think Talk exercises. Some say it takes 21 days to break a habit, others say 30, 60 or even 90 days. I say it takes as long as it takes. As long as you are prepared to persist, it will happen. The only thing that will prevent it from happening is when you quit. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in captivity for what he believed in. He eventually became president of the African National Congress and president of South Africa. How did that happen? They locked away his body, but they could not lock away his mind and his vision. After all those years of holding on to his vision, his dream became a reality. Some years ago I had a dream to see South Canterbury become the centre point of tourism in the Central South Island, and I started a campaign to convince the local people that we should get together to build a much-needed 5-star tourist hotel in Timaru. That was 16 years ago, and it still hasn't happened, but I still have the vision of seeing Timaru and its surrounding districts someday becoming a hive of tourist activity. As long as I hold into the vision, other people eventually pick up on the vibrations of my vision, and it will happen. When it will happen, I don't know. All I know is that it will happen, and it will take as long as it takes. Each morning I go to the gym for my daily exercises, and I do it because I have to set a goal to live to be 100. When you've got a goal to live to be 100, you need to take good care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Over the years, I've watched other people come to the gym, all enthusiastic, and after a short period of time, you never see them again. Why do people quit something that is good for them? The answer is simple. They lack goals, and when you have no reason to do something, you lack persistence, so you quit. There are no failures in the world, just people who quit. I want to finish Think Talk by repeating the shortest and most famous speech that was ever given by an English statesman. This speech was given by one of the greatest leaders of his time. The man did some remarkable things as a leader, and yet behind the limelight he suffered from a mental illness. The man's name was Sir Winston Churchill, and this was his famous speech he gave to a group of graduating students. He looked at the group of young minds who were about to go out into the world and make a living for themselves, and he said these words: "Never give up. Never ever give up. Never ever 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 give up." This great statesman then slowly picked up his hat and cane and left the room. In this manual there are 2 poems, which were given to me 30 years ago, and they have had a profound effect on my life. They are called Don't Quit and The Man Who Thinks He Can. I gave copies of these poems to my children many years ago when they first left home. They have still kept them, and often they talk about them today. As parents, we find it's all too easy to spoil our children with expensive gifts, when often it is the little things, like an inspirational few words, that make such a big difference in the way we shape our lives. I've put these 2 poems in this manual, and I'm going to read them to you. They're quite short. They don't have an author. The author is unknown on both of them. But here's the first one. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but can't, think you can't, then almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of his mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the strongest or fastest man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. And this is the poem that I gave to my children, and they've all remembered it. It's called Don't Quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a fellow turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. So don't give up, though the pace seems slow, you may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late when the night came down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tinge of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you mustn't quit. Thank you for listening.